Helen also listens, but she's got an important topic that she wants to discuss. Helen, good morning.
Hi Frank, how are you?
I'm very, very well, Helen. You are one of the leading campaigners for the South West Acute Hospital, Helen Hamill. And when the little holiday break is over, there's quite an event happening on July 15th at the Killyhevlin Hotel. You can't even get a ticket for it. You do feel that this is last roll of the dice for the saving of the acute services?
I think it's the last opportunity that will be given to have a consultation. And whether the consultation really is significant or not, we won't know, but we need to go and we need to have our voices heard. And I think that for us in the campaign, it's now the time is to speak out. We're given 14 weeks, one of which is chipped away. We now have 13 weeks with no Stormont sitting. And we do feel this is our biggest battle. We're now in the biggest battle for the survival of surgical services, and that means the survival of our families and our friends in emergencies. So it matters. So yeah, the tickets seem to be harder to get than Oasis tickets, to be honest with you, Frank. They were there and then they were gone. So we have no idea of knowing how many were there, but we do know there are none, and there were none within hours of people having gone on board to try to book.
So remind us of the countdown in relation to the consultation and what you're hoping to achieve.
We have worked almost 3 years into a removal of surgery from our hospital. Consultant surgeons, they have chosen, in our opinion, they've chosen to use the summer period, and particularly this bank holiday weekend, in which to hand the people the material about the consultation to accept permanently the removal of that surgery from us as a cohort. And the quote, which is one of the Western Trusts, is that during these 3 years, so during this time, there's no evidence of any individual patient harm for a single patient. And we held a meeting last night, Frank, to inform people, you know, how important it was to engage and how much we'll be drawing with them. But that statement was like, that was incendiary. It's just not true. And as I said, it is, we have always known this is our post office. This is us, the people. And we do realise we're facing decisions that are already, well, I suppose, etched out. And we have to turn it, and we will turn it. And the timing of it for us, you know, Stormont is down. It's in recess. By the time it's up again, we'll have a week or two of trying to get politicians to bring forward our arguments. So, you know, our democratic right is lost, and we lose the right to live. That's the one we need, the right to live equally, the equal chance to survival that you'll have, or somebody in Belfast has, or anybody else has.
Do you feel it is that bad? Because there are alternatives, of course. There's Altnagalvin, but as you've said on this programme before, the distance for people to travel to Altnagalvin is you know, from that neck of the woods that the SWA hospital is based in is a long distance. But there's also the issue about staffing the SWA and getting the consultants to live and work there. That is a challenge, isn't it?
It depends who you ask. If you ask me, the challenge is that the Western Trust haven't advertised for full-time consultants for this hospital. So the workforce challenge isn't ours, it's theirs. And it's not a challenge, there's just a gaping gap. There are apparently 18/20 surgeons now employed in the Trust, all based in Altnagalvin and offering sessions in SWA. Now that when I'm saying nothing advertised, the last consultant surgeon advertised was in May 2021, and actually that's how it is. So the workforce has been allowed to run down. The consequences are there. You know, the consequences are visible in every other service, and of course they are. So at the moment, our committee actually, we're really, really strange week between announcing that the tickets are there, please go to the event, to hearing there's no tickets, and we've been dealing with hundreds of people coming in and out of messages in various platforms, because again, it matters. It matters now. People realise that 13 weeks' time, we hand over, the consultation closes, it goes to the Trust Board, and then it goes to the Minister for Health, and it goes and sits until he decides to sign it. But ultimately, we have 13 weeks turn a juggernaut. That's how it feels.
But can you do it? Because this particular public consultation meeting at the hotel in Fermanagh looks like as if it is going to be well attended. But at the meeting, are loud voices going to be heard?
Well, this is actually quite concerning because the entire process is only offering 2 opportunities for people to meet with the Trust. 2 public meetings, both of which are going to be held on the bank holiday week. Northern Ireland grinds to a halt this week. Whatever population cohort you are, Northern Ireland, everybody is on holidays.
But you're confident that there will be a massive turnout of local people at the Killy-Haviland?
Not just that, Frank. There have to be more meetings, and we will be impressing on them that it's not okay to have one meeting. And the Western Trust actually did quite disturbingly quote the Patient Client Council as stating there's no point in having more meetings because if you do, it will degenerate into the same people wanting to hear or wanting to speak, but it's different people who want to listen. And it's other questions that people are given an opportunity to ask. So, we feel last night that we had a meeting and we launched our own consultation. We will inform the population down here on an ongoing basis. There's a momentum in Fermanagh, there's an anger, there's questions that need answers and rightly deserve to be answered. And one of the ways I know we're going to do this, Frank, I don't think we're going to do this, I know we're going to do this, because we are sitting now in a position, the last week I spoke to you, and it's only a week or 2 ago, since then, the entirety of Fermanagh and Omagh District Council have passed a motion to support and fight against this permanent closure. We've had unions, 8 different unions, trade unions have spoken on the exact same emergency matter, and they're standing behind refusing the closure. So our aims would be that this is affected by poor roads, poor infrastructure, poverty, deprivation, Section 75. We're out in the middle of nowhere. The geography of Altnagelvin. We're a rural population, just really rural. 14% of our population don't have cars. So, having an online ticketed event with an unknown amount of seats for the entirety of 83,343 people was never really sincere, Frank. So we had one committee member, and I have to mention her. Pauline is she's a farmer's wife, and I think that makes you a jack of all trades.
This is Pauline Corrigan.
That is exactly Pauline Corrigan. We refer to her now as Meryl Streep because you put her camera in front of her and off she goes. She's brilliant. But Pauline shared a recorded message on her WhatsApp with her friends and asked her friends, please, if this means anything to you, we all know people who have had really bad stories, really bad outcomes. Please come to the meeting. Please share it. If I'm asking you to do one thing, I'm pleading with you. Please share it with 20 people you know. The message came back to her 3 times within a couple of hours. The message went all over Ireland, and we've then got messages back that the diaspora, the New York Irish, were listening to it. So we have a groundswell of people determined to fight with us. And I tell you what, it is, I said to you the last day, watch this space. It's never been more important for people to watch this space. The anger is justified in the community, Frank, and but
is there a suggestion there? Is there a suggestion that come Wednesday, the 15th of July at the Killy-Haviland Hotel, that the car park's going to be full of people as opposed to just the ballroom?
No, well, again, we haven't invited people to do anything of that nature. However, there were people standing up last night in the room and stating that they fully intended to go. But it's, whether we're not encouraging any type of I don't know, any obstructive behaviour. However, people have no democratic ways to represent their thinking at the moment. What's the Trust have done by placing it in the middle of July and August? They've removed our chance to lobby politicians in the usual ways and removed the mechanisms that would be available if the Assembly was sitting, but it's not, it's in recess. So we are saying that the public have to engage in the consultation. And at the moment, the only meeting that still seems to be up online for Fermanagh people to attend is the one on Tuesday next. So, if however they're going to manage to correct that, I think they'll have seen a groundswell last night of the population saying, think again, because it's not enough. You can't condense all of the questions. You can't reduce the people like that. You can't reduce the window of time for us to make an impact with our government in position, but they have. So I do feel this is our biggest battle stage. It's not over. It's only beginning, and we christened it last night, just spontaneously in the meeting. This is Save Our Acute Services consultation, and it's our hospital, and it's our families' lives. And we read out last night several of our population's outcomes, one of which, Frank, I'm not going to read it all. It is the most terrible story of a man who had gallstone problems in Rosslea in March, and he is currently, and I know his family gave permission last night to share some of the details. He arrived in Altnagelvin. He sat outside the waiting area for 3 days on a chair, and he had pancreatitis and sepsis. He is currently still critically ill, having had to be transferred to the Royal, and we're now in the 4th month. So, he's just one. There are many. And again, last night we just looked at it. Rosslea to Altnagelvin takes exactly the same time as somebody going in now to the nice new bus station. But if you go to Beaumont Hospital, you're not going to wait 3 days for anything. You're going to be seen. So, we have the worst outcomes. Going from Belfast to Dublin, ask any politician in Belfast, is that all right for you?
Well, they're very, very relevant questions that you are asking, Helen. They're relevant questions that you are asking. Hopefully the Trust will be able to give you some more reassuring answers come Tuesday night. I think I might have mentioned Wednesday, but Tuesday is the 15th. And that looks like as if it is going to be an exceptionally well-attended meeting. Helen, thank you.
Bring a little sunshine indoors with the sensational summer sale in store and at harrycorry.com.